Hey guys, have you ever wondered if there is a major underlying definition to almost all the problems in the world? We may not have the answers to all questions, but we surely need to be aware of the seriousness of the human ego. Ego means one's sense of self-worth, whether exaggerated or not. But there is a deeper meaning to that. The ego is your self-image, which can be totally different from reality. It's like a shield, and self-image is created when there is a separation from reality. Oftentimes, when we think of the word ego, we tend to think of a narcissist or a conceited persona, but in reality, ego can be found in empaths too. Ego means identification with something, and that identification gives you your sense of self, which is why so many people feel ashamed to admit their mistakes even if they're wrong. You can recognize ego when it goes into a comparison mode and you start to compare yourself superiorly to others for possessing something that they don't have. It was a root cause of wars, tribal conflicts in the past, and racism alongside multiple issues within individuals. It is definitely a part of the human nature, but how you let it affect you is what makes a difference. Having that sense of identity that your tribe is better than other tribes, or thinking that your skin tone is more beautiful than a certain tone, is basically what ego is all about. You may look in the mirror and think you have a huge nose, or your freckles are not so good looking, when in reality these are just thoughts that you identify yourself with, and it has nothing to do with how you're perceived by the world. Now, that identity that you have made for yourself will always be you in your head. The ego is never satisfied. It always strives for more, which is why people may feel happy when complimented. And with social media, people post their selfies for comments and likes to feed their ego. And then again, your lack of satisfaction can be projected on other things as an endless cycle. So how can we solve this major cause of suffering in the world? It starts with individual recognition. A true awakening is when you understand to separate yourself from the identification of all forms. Once you start being one with the present moment and you begin to separate yourself from the image that you carry of yourself, only then you will see how things are in reality. Now imagine you're at work and you've been given a task to do with excellence in teams. So you spent a lot of effort and precision into your task, but your teammates weren't too pleased with the outcome and asked for modification from your part. There are two possible scenarios in this case. You can either set your ego aside and work efficiently on the faults that you've made, or you can start arguing with your teammates over it. Your ego is definitely hurt if you take matters personally and can't accept criticism. Associating your efforts with your identity and feeling as though you are being criticized shows how much your ego has control over your life. Just like everything else in the world, the human ego comes in different degrees, and to some people it may have a huge impact in their life, and to others not so much, which leads to another aspect. The act of letting go. Now, let's take an example of two men fighting in the street. And once the fight is over, they may have thoughts like, I should have said this or that to him. That's the inability of letting go. If we had two cats fighting, they wouldn't think about anything after the fight is over, and each cat will go on its own path without these thoughts. So that explains how the human ego can have full control over your emotions and make your life harder when you're not conscious. So with that being said, try looking at things in a deeper sense, and you realize how much the human ego plays a massive role in the problems arising, whether it's in your personal life or the community where you live in. To read quotes such as, "A bad day for your ego is a great day for your soul" by Jillian Michaels, without having the awareness is the same as trying to run in a treadmill thinking you'll move to another place. Thank you for watching. If you've liked this video, make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.